Bow down before my psycho power.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Virtua Fighter 6. There's a lot of discussion around this game. People are very excited. One, with the leak that was shown before the announcement, but then when the announcement came, everything was just so much better. And it was really cool to see that happen. It was really cool to see the people who, care so much about the franchise be blown away by what they saw. The story was magnificent. The gameplay looks fantastic. The visuals, the art design, the music, there was so much about it to love. It gave off Yakuza vibes, so much stuff, right? But I seen a couple of conversations happening on Twitter, and I just wanted to partake in this conversation a little bit. So the first clip here, it says combo comparison between Virtua Fighter Crossroads and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, recreated in VF5, mimicking Crossroads and by no means optimal. This is basically showcasing the new combo system for Crossroads, and with this you can see how so this move is a launcher, and this person, the red shirt P1, is basically launched at this point. But usually in fighting games, when someone gets launched, they go up in the air. But Virtua Fighter is doing something different where they're just staggered, standing. And it's so out of the box, but it also makes so much sense. Instead of launching them and giving the ragdoll physics, keep them grounded right here. So you launch, and then you do 1, 2, 3. So that's one string. You launch them, you do one string, and then they fall down into this kneeling position. And I would assume that you won't be able to do too much here, which is why he goes for this combo ender, which is this big shoulder move, right? And then that's pretty much it. Now, this is the comparison to Revo, a combo that you would do in Revo, but they're using Virtua Fighter 5 as the battleground, right? So you can see he does the same move, and then immediately he goes airborne. Ragdoll physics take over, right? He spins around in the air, and then he does the same string, and then he's just super in the air, super floaty. And this is what they're trying to tackle. When they say realism, this is what they're removing. They're removing the floaty ragdoll physics, and they're just having you be grounded. From what I've seen, a lot of people do love this change, but I would wonder if there's some people who would feel that it's not being authentic or anything of that sort. And you can see he does the final shoulder there to hit. And I wonder how this will affect so much of the game, because in this environment, it does a set amount of damage, it gives a set amount of Oki, but with them and also they said that this one here isn't optimal, so meaning you would do so much more. But with this one, so far seeming to be more of a grounded take on what you would expect. For example, with Tekken or Street Fighter, I know their combos can get up to 14 hits and stuff like that, right? And if you were to change that and make it to where you could basically only do 5-hit combos because of how the realism is taken over, that would change the game a lot. And honestly, a part of me would love to see something like that with Tekken, where you, instead of getting these big combos that cover the whole stage, you get something just like a launch, filler, screw, ender. I would love something like that, but Virtua Fighter seems to be the game that's trying it out. So you can see a side-by-side comparison. Launch, and then the string there, and then he goes down into kneel, and then boom, right? So what are people saying in response to this? The top quote says, having the characters slump to the ground from getting hit so hard instead of popping up in the air as the main combo mechanic is fire. When they said they were focusing on realism, they meant it. So that has 3,000 likes. This is such a fascinating change. They can make these crumble states function almost exactly like juggles if you want them in terms of combos. It's a big vibe shift, so a mixed response is expected. But if you listen to what they said that they really are pushing for a brand new audience. And I mean, to be fair, we see with Street Fighter, not only that it's possible, we see the results of it. We see the results of successfully making your game for a new audience and bringing in that audience. There's two different things here, right? You have Tekken 8, which tried to alter their game for a brand new audience. It did not work, and the game has been in limbo for so long. Street Fighter, they have successfully done it. The current competitive environment of that game, to my understanding, people aren't the biggest fans of it, but look at this tweet from Dell. 70% of Street Fighter 6 players are 15 to 25 years old. The FGC really beating the UNC allegations with the OG fighting games. Amazing. So that's the thing, is that these fighting games are trying to change their roster and also the mechanics and other things, but those are the big things that we're focusing on. They're trying to change those things to bring in new players. And I mean, I kind of don't blame them. It's not a successful business model to have your whole audience be dads. Those dads will eventually turn into grandfathers, and they ain't playing no games, they ain't playing no Tekken, that's not what you want, right? I was watching a video just a couple of days ago about an amusement park for old people and how it was booming for like a year, and then after that it was over. So that's what fighting games are looking at when you have the majority of your player base being 30 to 35 to 40. So this change from Virtua Fighter 6 is kind of addressing that. And also, the thing with Virtua Fighter 6 as well is that they don't really have this big installment base. Yes, there's a lot of people who remember the franchise and they have that core audience, but that's not enough to survive or like build the game off of. You need more than just that. Video games are just way too expensive, and this one looks really expensive. Here's another tweet where it says, wow, they reworked combo physics. Literally the very reason I didn't like the feel for any Virtua Fighter games. It always looks so cheesy and like a 90s game. So this is the thing, right? I like how this person emphasizes like it looks 90s era. It looks a little bit outdated. It looks like old school. And you need to modernize it a little bit. I think there's a perfect blend of both. I think fighting games can like keep their roots, keep their identity, keep the legacy, but then also you gotta evolve it and change it up a little bit. So actually, one more thing. Blast Slime says, too many cinematics. Complaints is about throw and counter hit animations that have been in fighting games since 1994. Virtua Fighter is relentlessly intense. So the brief respite is part of the rhythm. It's nothing like 20-second combo heat burst into a wall, 50-second range art. So this is bringing up a different point. They're talking about basically how like you're fighting, and then we get a counter hit or like a big hit, it triggers a cutscene like that. And of course, people are kind of tired of this, especially Tekken 8 players. You know, you have Fakaram guard breaks, you have rage arts, you have heat smashes, you have a whole lot of cinematics there. And this game seems to, it seems to kind of flow better, and it seems to kind of just look more visceral. I do wonder though how often you will be able to trigger these, because even the one there where you get slammed on the floor, this one looks really cool. Like this one right here where he slams him on the floor and grabs him, it looks really cool. But then when you get hit with that 10 times, how does that impact things? Because that's really the problem, right? When Fakaram is in heat and he breaks your guard, the first time, no big deal. And then he does it again, and he does it again. And then that's how the round goes. It's like, okay, now this is too much. So as long as they can contain and prevent from repetitive cinematics, then it's okay. Because really that's what Tekken is dealing with, is repetitive cinematics. I do get why some people are upset though. Like when the people who are upset, because I mean, it's a radical change to the whole game. It's radical. They're going all out. They're not holding back. And if you were someone who was expecting the next Virtua Fighter to just be old school Virtua Fighter, you probably are big mad. But a lot of people are also happy. So Ed with 3Ds just said in the chat, looks like meter management slop to me. And that's interesting because you guys remember that leaked screenshot that had the meter bar at the top and we didn't know what it was about? They still haven't explained that, right? So maybe if your meter bar is full, you could trigger cutscenes. Maybe that's it. I think it's going to have to revolve around the meter gauge and like whether or not you can activate it that way.